Subway workers, what is the grossest sandwich you've seen ordered and had to make? Story 1. It's time for this story to be told. When I was a stupid high school boy, my buddy Rob and I used to go to the same Subway at least a couple times a week. There were two workers there, Mary and Roland, and whenever they transferred, we followed them to some other Subway because they were nice to us and sometimes gave us deals. One day I went in there and said, "Roland, I bet you can't make me a sub that I can't eat." Roland goes in the back and comes back with two big freaking slabs of processed turkey. When you order a normal sub, that turkey is all sliced up. This was not sliced. It was just a goddamn brick of meat about an inch and a half thick. He loaded it up with all the regular toppings. No screaming hot sauce or anything, and said, "There you go." Stupid high school boy me thought, this fool doesn't know who he's dealing with. I asked for a nettable food, and he gives me extra meat. 10 minutes and this thing is down my belly hatch. But a strange thing happens when you have to chew large portions of processed meat for a long time. You realize why they slice it up like that. It's because it's full of big disgusting chunks of gristle, globs of fat, probably a beak or two, whatever made it into the turkey blender before it was processed into a can. I can't remember whether I puked. Stupid high school boys puke a lot, but I do remember that I didn't even finish 6 inches of that sucker. God bless Roland, wherever he ended up. Not only did he win the bet, he made a sandwich that still haunts my dreams 25 years later. Roland really understood the assignment. The fact that he went right to the back and made it so quickly without hesitation has me wondering if he's done this before, or if he's just been planning on someone asking him and had everything mapped out in his head ahead of time. Story 2. Okay, check it. Dude comes in like he's never been to a Subway before, which, that's okay, I'm ready to help. But he also acts like he has never had nor heard of a sandwich before. He gets the honey oat footlong, and that's where the logic stops. This joker asks what's good, and I tell him I like the meatball marinara. He gets that, with extra marinara mind you. And before I can even ask him about his cheese choice, he points to the tuna and asks, "Ew, what's that?" I pause for a second trying to process what he is asking me. Let me tell you, I take the title sandwich artist seriously, and I did not feel like an artist while spreading pasty tuna onto a marinara-soaked honey oat loaf. I felt dirty. So to follow this nutball's train of logic, he has me extra toasted without cheese, take it out, and he says two words that shook me to my core. Honey mustard. I'm an honest man, I like to think. A good man if I'm being generous. But I cannot think that any god wouldn't make me suffer for helping craft this abomination. I squeeze the bottle and give him 3 thick lines of that tangy gold sauce. He says more. I give him more. I close it with an audible squelch emitting from the sub. I wrap it up, and when I look up to accept his money, I see his face. I see the excitement of a child about to go on a roller coaster for the first time. The guy is giddy, practically electrified with glee. I give him his footlong effigy to sit incarnate. He leaves the store, and I go to the back to slice bell peppers and try to forget. I think by the time he asked me what the tuna was, I would have called the cops. I honestly threw up in my mouth a good few times trying to make it through that. I wish I could wash my eyes and mouth out right now after seeing those words and having them come out of my mouth. I hope you've recovered. I know I won't for some time. Story 3. Not Subway, but in high school I worked at Hoagie Yogi, which does sandwiches and teriyaki bowls. I had a teenage girl come in and ask if I could make a footlong pickle sandwich. So I took a small handful of pickles and spread them out over the bread. "Can I have more?" she asked. I took another slightly larger handful of pickles and spread them over the bread. "Can I have more?" she asked again. I dug into the bin with both hands and spread 2 heaping piles of pickles across the bread, which was now soaking in vinegar. "Is that enough?" I asked. I thought I was calling her bluff. "Yeah, that's good." I folded the sandwich down as best I could. The pickles were stacked too high. I rang her up for a veggie sandwich, watch her take it to the table, and sit down to eat the whole thing. The bread was dark and soggy. Any pickles that fell out, she was quick to scoop up. It was gross, but fascinating at the same time. At that point, why not just have a jar of pickles? Does the bread enhance their taste or something? Story 4. I do not work, nor have I ever worked at a Subway. However, I was the main instigator in what I deem one of the most memorable sandwiches of my life. It was in my late teens and with a bunch of mates. I was last in line behind them, and with something to prove, I decided to go the whole hog and more. The poor girl behind the counter asked what I wanted. Footlong Italian herbs and cheese. She brought over the sad-looking baguette and asked what filling I was after. All meat, no fish. I thought I was prepared for it, but my god, there were a lot of meats that I was not aware of. Meatballs, chicken fillet, pork riblet, salami, etc. I was ready for it, but it just kept coming. Shaved meats, diced meats, poultry, lamb, cow in more ways than I could imagine. It ended up being so full she couldn't close it. I topped it with a proportionally pitiful mayonnaise and barbecue sauce. It ended up being around $50. One of the worst things I think I've ever done, in more ways than one. However, I do not regret it. I'm now a vegan. My quota was reached. I feel like after about 2 bites that I'd be more than full for the day. Did you eat it all in one go though, or did you save some as leftovers? God, I hope you did the second one. Story 5. Here's a few I can remember. This obese guy would walk in a couple times a week, take the cold cut combo. He asked for a ton of lettuce followed by the largest amount of mayonnaise you can imagine. He always emptied half the cup of mayo. It was probably more than enough mayo for 12 to 15 average customers. He then added a few other vegetables and was good to go. It always made me sick making him such a sandwich, as I knew I was killing him. Then I've seen two normal looking people take every single sauce on the menu. Not like a very thin line or anything. Extra dosage of every sauce while looking at me to make sure I put enough of each. At the Subway, you can ask to grill vegetables with your bread, cheese, and meat. I always grilled onions and peppers with mine for the flavor. Multiple people were doing this. Then this guy walks in and asks me to grill his sub at the complete end, after asking for lettuce, pickles, and sauce on it. This guy ordered a wrap with 8 portions of bacon and 2 portions of steak. Cheese over the entire thing. No vegetables and toasted. Yep, a toasted wrap. Wait, you're telling me Subway doesn't already use an entire cup of mayo on each sandwich? And a toasted wrap doesn't sound too bad. Story 6. A lady in front of me orders a salad. So far so good, nothing to worry about. Then she says she would like it plain. The worker asks what she would like on her salad. She doesn't want lettuce, onions, or spinach. She orders 1 slice of ham in the middle of the plastic bowl. Then she asks for pickles. The worker puts a handful on, but the lady wants more. I'm perplexed in line behind her, and it's starting to get hard to keep a straight face. The worker piles on another 2 handfuls of pickles on. The lady pipes up, "Can I just get a little more?" The worker gives her a wary eye, but submits and adds 1 final handful to her bowl. She proceeds to pay, her final order being 1 slice of ham and the remainder of the bowl filled with pickles. This thread is teaching me Subway customers really like their pickles, and also that I don't ever want to work at a Subway. Story 7. I had this one guy that would come in frequently and ask for what he referred to as a salty sardine surprise, which was Italian bread with both sides totally covered in salt, with an entire can of sardines between them. We used to get into a lot of fights over the sardines, since we don't have them. But one day I bought a can of sardines just to take him by surprise. He didn't react in the slightest when I made the sandwich. The next day I go to my cousin's deli, and he tells me the same guy came in that morning ranting about the best salty surprise I ever had, god dang it. You're telling me that's not something he's ashamed of liking? And he openly shares that he eats that? Is that a normal thing people eat? Story 8. Not an artist, but was in line behind a guy. He got a chicken bacon ranch, double meat and cheese. Nothing weird yet. No toppings. Whatever, a lot of meat and cheese. All the sauces. WTF. The Subway gal put a little line of each one on. Not good enough. He wanted it to be drenched in every sauce. He got a faint glob for every sauce, plus had them add marinara. When they tried to close the sandwich and cut it was oozing. He grabs it and sits down, basically slurping the freaking thing. I was planning on eating there, but just couldn't. Got it to go and got the frick out of there. One of the grossest things I have ever seen. I'm imagining that and I'm gonna throw up. Chewing with your mouth open is bad enough. I can imagine hearing a guy slurping his frickin' sandwich. Story 9. Not a Subway worker, but ordered enough weird sandwiches to be rightfully judged. My brother and I used to have this ongoing competition where we would order the grossest sandwiches and see who could actually eat the most of it. Whoever ate the least had to pay for both sandwiches the next time we came to the Subway. The grossest sandwich that I ever ordered was a footlong with that weird artificial fish and mayo stuff. Spinach, olives, tomatoes, bacon, avocado, honey mustard, and barbecue sauce. To be honest, it was actually pretty good despite the texture. So I won that competition. I do not believe you. There is no way that wasn't absolutely revolting. Story 10. This is hands down the worst sandwich I ever made. Dude comes in, orders a 6-inch cold cut white bread. As I'm cutting the bread, he asks for mayo on both sides before the meat, so I do the old back and forth both sides. He looks at me and says, "Not enough, man. I want like an inch on both sides." I used about a half of mayo on that sandwich, put the meat on and closed it up. He told me at the end that he lets it sit in the fridge for 3 days before eating it. Why did he feel the need to share that? Did he think it would justify his weird order or something? Story 11. This guy had some kind of intellectual disability or something. He ordered a footlong meatball sub with extra marinara and extra every other sauce, which at the time would have been yellow mustard, brown mustard, ranch, chipotle, light mayo, regular mayo, yes both, and sweet onion. He had a companion with him who kept asking him, "Are you sure you want that? That doesn't sound like it will taste very good, are you sure?" But he was not deterred. The companion came back to me later to thank me and let me know he ate the entire thing and loved it. Kinda gross, but I'm glad he liked it. Man knows what he wants and won't let anyone get in the way. Story 12. I don't know if they still do that seafood salad sandwich, but when I was a teenager, I had to prep that garbage in the morning. It's a 5-pound bag of imitation crab and a gallon bag of mayonnaise, mixed with my gloved hands. The smell and texture was awful. Anyways, had an elderly gentleman come in on my Saturday shifts and get the seafood salad footlong, double meat with shredded cheese, toasted. Old guy tipped $1 every time. You had to mix that with nothing but your own hands? Jeez, I hope those tips made up for it. Story 13. When I worked at the Subway, there was a family that came in, the parents and their 2 sons. They would always order meatball footlongs and want all the veggies twice. You could never pack on enough lettuce either. You couldn't cut the dang thing. Good luck trying to smash it down enough to even wrap. That times 4 every time they came in, plus a ton of mayo. We used to do rock, paper, scissors in the back to see who had to deal with them. To be honest, doesn't sound that bad. Or maybe those other orders are just making everything else seem normal. Story 14. Had a few people that would order a double meat tuna sub and then want a ton of mayo added to it. Those sandwiches were already half mayo to begin with. I felt fatter just touching the thing. Also, another store under the same owner would regularly get people wanting cookies added to their subs. I'm pretty sure I was told the reasoning was that they thought it would count as a topping, so they wouldn't have to pay for the cookies. That's so gross, and the cookies are going to be drenched in mayo and stuff. Why would you share that? Ugh. Story 15. This mom and her kid would come into my store every Wednesday, and after the mom ordered something normal, the kid, who would always order himself, would ask for a plain sandwich. The first time I had to ask, but after that, every Wednesday when I saw them walking, I'd start working on that little guy's toasted bread and ketchup sandwich. Super gross sandwich order, but those two customers were always a bright spot in my week. Aw, that one's just cute. Story 16. There was this guy that I think was messing with me and the other girl there, but he ordered a foot-long wheat bread with every flavor of cheese we had on it, along with every condiment. We had then a man use a ketchup bottle he brought himself and used it all. His friends recorded him eating it, and I feel sick remembering it. That last one had to have been a lost bet. Maybe from fantasy football or something. People get wild with that. Story 17. Reverse. My friend used to work at a chain sub shop, and I love mayo. To frick with him, I would always just ask for unreasonable amounts of mayonnaise on my stuff, cause he thinks it's gross. He was about to ship out to the military, so before he left, I had to make me a meatball sub, but with no red sauce. All the red sauce had to be replaced with mayonnaise. He cringed, I ate it, it was a good day. You ate it? What kind of monster are you? Story 18. I worked at a sub shop in Arizona, and this wasn't really gross, just peculiar. A girl would come in every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and order a 16-inch sub with all the white cheese except yellow, and a 16-inch sub with 4 orders of bacon and no bread. I thought she was joking when she first came in, but I was subsequently reprimanded by the supervisor for laughing. How does he expect you to keep that in hearing an order like that for the first time? Story 19. We had a guy who ordered the seafood, gross in its own right, and then would ask for black pepper. He would then say, put pepper on until I say stop. He would let you shake on pepper for a good 15 to 30 seconds. The sub was just a pile of mayo and soot. Surprised I never sneezed. Maybe that's what he wanted. Story 20. Full-long Subway Club, I think double meat. Wanted extra cheese times 4 so they could have every single type of cheese on it. Every single vegetable, every single sauce, and I mean every sauce. Even mayo and light mayo together. Olive oil, vinegar, salt and pepper, oregano, Parmesan cheese. Not only was it disgusting, but it was a pain to actually wrap the thing. Reading all these and hearing how many people like mayo is making me lose all faith in humanity. Story 21. My old boss took a trip to Hawaii to surf. Rented a Jeep and ordered enough $5 footlongs to last the week. That's all he ate all week apparently. Stored them in the Jeep. No cooler, no refrigeration. All of those sandwiches were gross after a week in Hawaii's temperatures. So you're telling me he just ate rotten sandwiches for about a week? How is your boss still alive? Story 22. I worked in NW, Iowa. Very agricultural. Lots of cold cut trio on white bread with a butt ton of mayo, and that's it. I hated making it. I did not graduate from the Art Academy of Subway sandwiches to unwrap turkey plastic and splooge mayo up and down the block. I wonder what they said about mayo in the academy. Story 23. I worked at Jimmy John's, but this one dude would order a gargantuan, which is all the meats but bacon. No veggies, extra mayo, add bacon, like every day. I'm honestly expecting him to just drop dead of a heart attack one day after eating one of those bad boys. Story 24. It wasn't the grossest sandwich, it was just the way she ate it. Tuna with ketchup. She then removed her false teeth, licked the tuna out, and left the bread for us to clean up. What? Huh? She what? Story 25. Double salami and pretty much all the oregano in the house. No cheese, no sauce, no shame. Behold the power of an old Italian man's soul. Story 26. I once had to make someone a black olive sandwich. Like 3 handfuls of only black olive on Italian bread with extra olive juice. I ordered that once. I was 6 and it was my first time at Subway, so I panicked and refused anything other than black olives. Why olives though? Story 27. This lady would come in every day and ask for a 6-inch honey-o and make it very apparent that she wanted the bread soft. She had me put triple American cheese on it and 3 tomatoes, and an ungodly amount of mayonnaise on it. That's it. Made me cringe watching her eat it. Every day though? She didn't get sick of that order even once? Story 28. Obligatory, I don't work at Subway, but I do work at a place that serves subs. Had an order a while back for a chicken finger sub with hot sauce, tuna, pickles, and double mayo. They were totally hungover. Story 29. For breakfast, egg whites, American, and shredded cheese, a double portion of seafood, salad, toasted, oil, no vinegar. It's healthy because of egg whites. Story 30. Used to work in a sub shop local to New England, and this guy used to come in and have us scrape the grill with his blade that got the burnt meat and cheese off the grill. He would then have us top his steak and cheese with that crust. He would say, it's all flavor. No, it's not. Story 31. Pickles, seafood, salad, corn, bacon bits, olives, sauerkraut, barbecue sauce. What on earth are you thinking, mate? Story 32. Dude comes into my work every so often for a flatbread footlong. 1 egg white and 1 egg yellow. Add double meat tuna, toasted and nothing else. Story 33. Meatballs extra tuna. I was very new at the time, so I didn't realize till I got to the till that such a monstrosity isn't on the menu. Story 34. Meatballs, teriyaki chicken, and salsa with all the salad and all the sauces. No, he wasn't high, and he ordered it like 3 more times. You sure he wasn't high those other 3 times as well? Story 35. When I worked at Panera, a customer once ordered a tuna salad sandwich on a chocolate chip bagel. Why? What goes on in someone's head that makes them think that's a good idea? Story 36. Only mayonnaise toasted. I feel so dirty after reading that. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe for more videos to come, or else this spider will be in your bed tonight.